What is up, everybody? This is Derek Smith from theloveofplay.com. Again, coming at you with Shockadin. I'm going to be climbing up the ladder, seeing how far I can get with this deck. I'm glad you guys could be along for the ride. Now right here, opening hand, looking pretty aggressive. Double blue gills means 4 damage is going to get to the face, but I am playing a warrior, and as you guys have seen before, armor can pose a bit of an issue, especially for the blue gill. That is just a 2-1 charge, can basically be negated by his armor ability, which is kind of hard. Now right there, I coin into the charge just to get a really aggressive start. I don't know if that's actually the best play, because there might be some better combos, especially with the abusive sergeant. But I don't know, maybe because that armor is kind of menacing, I start as early as possible, going for his health points. And there is the armor. Alright, so right here, you know, obviously a coined into abusive sergeant bluegill could be great, because, you know, he could whirlwind right now, killing both of my bluegills. But that's one whirlwind he's not going to use on one of his own armor smiths or anything with enrage. So I lose the bluegill, but I don't know. Seems to be all right. And right here, I don't really have many options, so I'll go ahead and use the hero ability, abusive sergeant. I can get some mileage out of that 1/1. I have the equality consecrate, so any big threats are going to be neutralized by that, which is good insurance. So he comes at me with charge, and now he's outpacing me for damage here between the weapon and the charge minion. So I think I'm debating on killing the charge minion, maybe just using abusive sergeant to get a nice trade of my 1/1 for the 4/3, because he is doing a fair amount of damage to me. And because he's outpacing me so much and I am the aggro, no, I just go for the face. That seems, I mean, oh, and then here we go. Negate some of that damage with the noble sacrifice and keep going for the face, because with the Lepernone's death rattle and what I have on the board, I just will outpace him. So there's a noble sacrifice, turning his 4/3 into 4/1 and shaving off that 4 damage. So things are starting to lean my way now in terms of damage. The armor does slow me down, and it looks like he's getting rid of my minions. Two true silvers is nice, so I throw away the 1/1 because it's a good enough trade to get that 4 damage out of there and heal up now. Finally taking the lead with health here. Again, the equality consecrate in the back pocket for any big threats he could play here on turn 6. What I really like about the Shockadin deck, even though it's obviously it's a simple deck to play, someone like me who's new to the game, I can keep going on winning streaks, even making mistakes, like maybe coining into that bluegill. Oh, and there's maybe a mistake by the opponent. Leroy usually, to me, is kind of a finisher, especially because, you know, you give your opponent the whelps, which isn't the end of the world, but for someone like me who has lots of buffs, I don't have any in my hand now, but in aggro deck, I mean, those 1/1s help out. So 2 damage to the face and get rid of Leroy. Plus the 2 more from the whelps and the weapon is a nice heal. And right into another weapon. Another thing I was going to say about that I like about the Shockadin deck is the Paladin hero power sometimes to me seems a little underpowered. 1/1s are so easily destroyed, and 2 mana obviously seems like a lot for just a 1/1, but with just having the bodies on the board, it gives you like a likelihood that you could have a body to buff even if they start removing some. And sometimes with this deck, all it takes is, 1 damage. I think he kind of is seeing that with his choice of weaponing into my minion, so I have less options. So there's the arrow, just so that the Consecrate, clears his board, or else I would have gone for the face, obviously. But I am, 18. That's not horrible, but he's getting me down. I think I'm debating on the Consecrate because I still have the equality, but with the equality I have so many bodies on the board. Yeah, I'm not in a hard position. Obviously he's the one who's suffering, so if he has some big plays, he's gonna do them now, and having the equality Consecrate is just really nice insurance for anything, a huge taunt, any type of creature that he can play, honestly. Bit of an overpowered combination, especially for 6 mana, I will admit. But you play with the cards you're dealt, as they say. That's a tough one. He's really hurting here.
They are bend to my command.
And with 4... Okay, so... got 7 on the board plus the charge, so that's good game. So, game number 1 with the Shockadin, another victory. See, that would be my Leroy in this deck, which would be a finisher. Alright, it looks like our next match up is against a mage with a lot of removal. Obviously, her hero power can kill almost anything. Hammer Wrath's a little bit expensive. For starting out, Consecrate's not better because she's not going to have a huge minion presence, I would assume, as a mage. A lot more spells up her sleeve, so not the greatest starting hand against a mage. I would have liked a little bit more of an aggressive start. I mean, I guess you could say that about any start with this deck, as it is aggro. But we got a 1/1 out there with our hero power, so we're doing okay. If she does ping it off with her hero power, that's, 2 mana. She's not using this turn to play, anything, like mirrored images, or the 0/2s with taunt. Acidic Swamp Ooze, interesting. I guess she doesn't think I'm going to have a weapon, but I do, obviously. Most Paladin decks, if not all, do, so that's kind of an interesting choice. I'll give it a quick buff and do the hero power again. She's going to have to deal with that 4/1. I mean, she's got to either ooze or ping into it or something, and that's going to use some of her mana to get rid of that, opposed to hitting my face or getting rid of anything else. So that'll do it. Obviously, I think she would have wanted the 4/1 with that, but she had enough mana to ping off. I don't say she like I assume this must be a woman I'm playing. I'm just looking at Jaina here. So, it's not a lot of immediate threat on the board. She has a better presence than me, but just get the True Silver out of the way. That way, I think I'm hoping for a 6 mana Wolf Rider face smash. It's 6 mana, 6 damage. You can't really
Someday I'll be just like you.
Oh, and now we have 2/2/2s on the board. So major consecrate territory. Pinging me for 1 plus the 3. So she's matching me a bit for damage, but I am gonna heal up a bit if I weapon attack. And there's the consecrate. Worgen, awesome for this matchup because obviously the stealth helps him escape that ping. You know, keeps him safe for a Blessing of Kings or Commander or anything that can buff him up. Of course, AoE like an Arcane Explosion will get him, but I don't see a lot of mages running that. Of course, this is the highest I've ever been on the ladder. Like I said, I'm new to the game, but I still don't see it much. So I guess I could double Wolf Rider plus the Worgen, hit for 8. That's half. Plus kind of empty my hand out for the Divine Favor. I am a little worried about the Berserker, just because of that rage. Obviously, she can trigger it whenever she wants, but even if she does, I am outpacing her, and I have the Noble Sacrifice, so if she does end up getting a decent hit on me, I can Noble Sacrifice to shave off the later hits, and she's going to have to deal with those minions because she's very, very low. So let's see what she does here. Gets the Death Rattle there, pings off another 3 damage. Okay, so she doesn't hit me in the face at all, but clears my board and gets her her enraged here. So she's looking at, you know, 7 potential damage before mana next turn to hit me with if I can't get rid of anything. But my hand is low. She has card advantage. She does not know that I have a Divine Favor. So right now, I'm thinking about how best to empty my hand. Obviously, I'll get the Noble Sacrifice out, shave off some damage. But I want to empty my hand as much as I can so that I can get the Divine Favor mileage. I could Equality so that the card draw is limited with the Acolyte of Pain, but I'm kind of worried that she's going to have some legendary or something that I'm going to hate myself for not having the Equality to get rid of, so drop the minion, give it the buff to empty the hand solely, but it also, again, creates a huge threat, and I'm probably not going to get my damage off, which at this point, at 8 health, she has to deal with that, and that's, you know, 1 less attack, or 1 less spell, or 1 less something that's going to be at my face, and I'm already at 25. So I'm okay with it, and obviously I drew in to some more cards, so let's see what she does. She's smart. She could attack with someone who's not the Enrage, so that she gets the damage off. I think it would be the Golem at this point. There it is. So I duck out at 2 damage. It's fine. I like that card in the deck for, you know, I feel like it could really be a Hail Mary when they have Fatal with a minion and it steps in to save you, giving you enough time to rush them down 1 last turn. Okay, so she's coining now. Hold on to that for a while. Another scary Enrage. Wind Fury. So she's going to have potentially a lot of damage, but I should be able to end it soon. Oh, and there's the Archer. So we got 3 with the Hammer Wrath, 2 with the Charge, plus 1 with the Archer. That's still not enough. But maybe we draw into... There it is, Abusive Sergeant, 2 more, and... Yep, that'll do it. With 2 more to the charge, we got the Bluegill for 4, and Battle Cry Elven Archer for the win. And a well played to that, because those enraged Worgens were about to do some damage, but luckily we rushed her down. Alright, our last game is against a Priest. So I really like this opening hand, actually. We got a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and that 3-drop obviously I might not use on turn 3, but it always feels good to have Divine Favor in the pocket when you're playing this deck, because I feel like I can just totally unleash all my ammunition and have such a quick reload. Especially with Priest, I feel like they tend to have more cards in their hand. But maybe not as much as most decks anyway. So, quick start, get the Elven Archer quickly to the face. Looks like we got a turn 3 charge, so every turn he's going to have to be dealing with another creature coming out and hitting him. I really like this hand here. I mean, it's very simple. It doesn't take a huge amount of expertise to play this deck. Not really at all. But I'm interested to see where it starts slowing down in the rankings, because I'm sure some more advanced players who are higher ranked have come up with answers to this deck. And so I'm going to keep doing a few videos of Shockadin to see where it is that it slows down in the rankings when, you know, when I'm behind the wheel. But right now, it is extremely fast, getting down to 22 on turn 3. It's going to heal up, negate some of that rush. Alright, so because I want to use my Divine Favor soon, at this point I start unloading minions onto the board. And this is actually, I think, a mistake that a lot of aggro players make, or a lot of new players might make, is, look, I have all this, I didn't even use my hero power. I have all this presence on the board, when, honestly, I had a huge board presence. I had 6 damage every turn, and I could have withheld, maybe played one of my minions, but right now I have a bunch of 1 health minions, all out at the same time, and all it needs is a Holy Nova, and they're all gone. And now if I kept some in my hand, I could have attacked, still got a good amount of damage off, and then played them, and then had a target for my Blessing of Might that, you know, could have done something. But at this point, I just use the Divine Favor because I'm building so quickly. I might as well just keep it going, and there's the charge. So, hoping that that thing lives, even though it's very likely that he has an answer for it. Any 1 health minion is pretty easy to kill. But I've got a fair amount of buffs in my hand, so. Nope, and there's the answer. So it looks like we're going to be saving for Argent Commander buff, either with Abusive Sergeant or Blessing of Might. So I think because of that, I don't play Argent Commander now. I want to get more mileage out of him. So we'll True Silver, get full health back, which is nice, and say go. So we can Argent Commander Abusive Sergeant. If my minion lives, we might Blessing of Kings and save the Argent Commander combo for the win. The Argent Commander combo, by the way, is basically Leroy. It's the same amount of damage, but for a bit more mana. However, your enemy does not get Divine Shield, Whelps, and you do have Divine Shield, which is nice. But obviously, I would love a Leroy for this deck, completing the deck list. But Commander will do fine. Commander and Sergeant working together, hitting him for 8 plus 4 more. Actually, I hold off just in case there's some big taunt or something I want to kill. The point is, I have lethal, obviously, if he doesn't deal with my minions, and there's just no need to overextend and not have the option of having the weapon at this point, because there's a lot of ways I can win. So I held on to the weapon. Pretty good combo. I never really thought to do silence for Divine Shield. I mean, I've thought of it, but doesn't really come across, and I think that was the right move for him because he gets the 2 to the face, plus gets rid of the big threat with his Leper Gnome. Although he's playing a lot of minions, and he is at way too little health, so between the Blessing of Kings and the weapon that I saved, the game is over before the Consecrate. So another good game. Shockadin, God, just rolling over people. I'm going up the ladder, but we'll see when my luck runs out, and you know, I have been making a few mistakes even in this video, so maybe these mistakes will get me into a bit of trouble when we ascend the ladder, but I'm gonna keep maybe going up with this thing, and then at some point when the Shockadin madness is over, I'll get on that Miracle Rogue or Malygos Rogue, which takes a little bit more skill to play, and maybe some more decks, because I'm actually getting some booster packs, I'm getting some cards, and I'm having a lot of fun. So let's see how far this Shockadin deck can take me, and I'll see you all next time.